Hi, I'm Robin.
Hi, and I'm Bill.
Welcome to Not the Retirement Show. Today we're chatting about how to come up with and evaluate business ideas for retirees. Now, you're going to see very quickly that Bill and I have two very different approaches to all of this that somehow kind of come to the same conclusion. In my case, it's all about asking yourself a series of questions that, at least on the surface, might seem to have nothing to do with business. And the first of these is ask yourself, what do you really love to do?
Well, I think the point is that if you're using the word business, you're meaning, as far as I'm concerned, you're using the word business to mean doing something that brings in income, revenue, sales, whatever that may be. As opposed to just doing something in retirement, for the sheer fun of it, which could be a hobby, obviously, sort of thing. But I think the business opportunity issue is trying to find out, first and foremost, if you want to do that. Because, when people have worked all their life, they maybe get to a stage in life, an age perhaps, where they just say, I've just had enough. I'm just not going to do any more from a business perspective. So that's your first question. Do you want to do it? The second question, I think, is perhaps even more importantly, do I have to do it? In other words, the financial side of it.
Well, see, I'm going down the path that says that for whatever reason, you are going to do this. So I agree with Bill. It has to be something that you want to do. So how do you get to figuring that out? In my case, you first asked, what do you love to do? And then you asked yourself, of all those things you love to do, what never feels like work? And the key phrase for me is what never feels like work. In other words, you could be making money doing it, a little, sometimes a lot, but it's so much fun for you that you do this even if they didn't pay you.
Well, yeah, I guess that's right. In other words, you can do volunteer work where you're enjoying what you're doing if you're helping people, for example, working in the local hospital, things like that, but you're not getting paid. I think that's a very satisfying thing to do. But I mean, that's not being in business. That's just doing something that you like to do. To evaluate ideas for running a business or starting a business or joining a business, because there are different ways of doing this. You've got to then look at, as I say, obviously the financial, side of things, but you've also got to look at your skill set. What skills do I have? And there's no point in sort of saying, I think I'll go into the retail business if you've had no experience in the retail business. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but you really would have to think about that. So you've got to look at the skills that you have and what you can do with those skills. And that may just simply be an extension of what you've been doing all your life. In my case, I was, probably still am, I guess, an accountant. So, I can understand debits and credits, sort of. One of them goes on the left and one of them goes on the right. I don't know.
So they tell me.
It's something like that. I always get that mixed up. I can bring that forward into the retirement years. Those are some skills. And, if you've been a motor mechanic or something like that, tremendous skills that you needed and you still have. So you can set up your own little business to do that.
So on this point, Bill and I more or less agree, because I would also say of all those things that you can do that never feel like work, of that entire list, and I would say sit at the kitchen table and literally write these things out. Which ones of those things can you actually get paid for? Draw a circle around those. And the next thing that you need to ask yourself of your choices that are left, which one of these will I be able to continue to do as I age? So, for example, if you had landscaping down as one of your choices, is that going to be realistic in 5 or 10 years due to all of the heavy lifting, being out in the hot sun, all of that? Is that going to be a good choice for you for a business as you get older? In our case, we looked around and thought about what skills did we have when we were starting our company, and guess, big surprise, we both like to talk. So that made it easy to decide that we wanted to do something where we would be meeting with people and talking with people. It used to be face-to-face workshops, now it's YouTube. But for us to sit on a stool and continue to talk about retirement life, that's a category that we just get more experienced at as we age. And I don't know about you, Bill, but I plan to be able to sit on a stool and talk for quite some time to come.
Well, all things remaining equal, I guess me too.
Yeah.
I think your landscaping thing is a tremendously good example, simply because, you know, when you're right when you say, if you're going to start like a landscaping business, you know, as you move into retirement, then you've got to look at it from an age perspective. As you get older, will you be able to do it? But you know what? That comes all the way full circle back to the money side of it, unfortunately, because if you have to do or get a business or go into something to make money because you've got shortfall on your pension income or whatever that may be, and you need to bridge the gap to fill that, you know, that shortage, then that's a different proposition, because you're then going to go into the landscaping business to make money to fill the gap. Then what happens as you get older, because if you can't keep doing that because you're getting physically, you know, older, etc., got a problem. Unless, of course, you've got enough other income to see you through retirement. If you've got enough other income through pension, whatever it may be, great idea.
Which brings me to my last point in evaluating your business idea. And is this a good opportunity for you to pursue in retirement? Can you adapt your idea over time? Once again, the landscaping business, in the beginning, maybe you are doing, you know, digging flower beds and moving shrubs, but later on, maybe you could adapt to just starting seedlings, you know, in a greenhouse, and that would be easier work, not as much heavy lifting. In our case, we started off being face-to-face presenters, and over time, we were able to adapt to doing videos, doing podcasts, we write books, now we do YouTube, and in a couple of years, who knows what else we'll be doing. But you can see this is an idea that is adaptable due to time and circumstances.
Yeah, but also, I'm sorry, I keep going back to your landscape thing, because I think it's a very good example from a number of angles. You know, if you don't want to physically do the landscaping yourself, and you're a manager and you understand debits and credits again, whoops, then, you know, start a company and get other guys to do the hard work.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that kind of a thing where you know, hire people. People are always looking for jobs, and, you know, if you pay them right and all that kind of stuff, that's a great idea. So maybe when we say that you're going to the landscaping business, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go dig the hole.
No, Bill's just wandered into the subject of our next video, which is going to be how would you finance a retirement type business. So we hope that you have enjoyed watching this one. If we've said anything helpful, please make sure you subscribe to our channel and watch out for our next video coming soon.